All right, good morning. Happy Wednesday. My name is Kourtney Bassett. I'll be with you all this Wednesday morning. And this is our Living Well Pilates class that takes place for 45 minutes over the lunch hour from 11:45 until 12:30. So the next 45 minutes are ours for ourselves. A few notes about this class: you can use a mat, a blanket, a towel, or any carpeted surface just to add a little cushion under your body. Feel free to play your own music in the background as long as you are muted. No one else can hear that. Just make sure that you can hear me and my cueing. You're welcome to keep your camera on or off, whatever you're most comfortable with. I just ask that you be able to see me so that you can visualize some of the movements. And if you have any questions at all throughout class, know that you can send a message through the chat or feel free to unmute yourselves and ask away. I'm trying to think if there is anything else. I am going to turn my sound on because it looks like it is off right now. Goodness. So if you do unmute yourselves, now I can hear you. We're going to do a little bit of gentle stretching to begin our class today. So find a seat on your mat or carpeted surface. Find whatever comfortable position that you may find, whatever's right for you. If you like a chair, you could also find yourself seated there. But we're going to start just from here with some gentle shoulder rolls, taking the shoulders back and down the spine, dropping them down, noticing a stretch through the tops of the shoulders, and just starting to mobilize that joint while we breathe. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. And as we drop those shoulders down our spine, go ahead and release one ear up and over towards one shoulder. We'll let gravity gently pull us into this stretch for our scalene muscles in the neck. If we're wanting a bit more, we can take that hand and just gently place it on our head. Again, not pressing down on the head, just giving ourselves a gentle stretch here, letting the weight of our arm, or the weight of our hand rather, pull us deeper into that stretch for our scalenes. As the hand floats away, drop your chin down towards the floor. Notice any changes there in that stretch. Our eye gaze looks towards the floor, but we'll take a big inhale. As we exhale, gently reach the chin and your eye gaze towards the ceiling, keeping the spine lifted, reaching our sits bones into the mat. Another big inhale through the nose. As we exhale, gently lift the head up to that neutral position. Fantastic. Go ahead, roll the shoulders back. Once again, finding that breath, nice and simple. And then once again, we'll take the opposite ear over towards the opposite shoulder, sinking into our stretch here. Let gravity pull you into that stretch, or remember, if you want a little bit more, we can take the weight of our arm/hand, gently placing it on the head, not pulling, not straining, just using that added weight to pull us further into a nice stretch here for these lovely muscles through our neck. As the hand releases away from the head, we'll drop the chin down. Again, that eye gaze looks towards the floor. Continue that simple belly breath, or perhaps even your rib cage breath. Another inhale. As we exhale, reach the chin up towards the ceiling. The eye gaze follows. We find length through the neck, length through the spine. And when we're ready, we'll release back to center. Once again, rolling those shoulders back and down the spine. From here, we'll let the hands come down towards the mat, reaching the right arm up and overhead. We'll tilt over ever so gently, getting a nice lateral stretch here through the side body. Good. If you're just dropping in, we're starting today's class with some gentle mobility, gentle stretching, just to wake up the body, sync ourselves with our breath. Release that elbow forward as you rotate through the torso. Perhaps reach that hand in front of you, finding a nice stretch through the back and that shoulder. Take an inhale. Exhale, slowly stack your spine back up and reach into that lateral stretch once again. And up we go. Fantastic. Other side, we float the arm overhead, trying our very best to reach our sits bones or our pelvis down towards the mat while that elbow reaches for the ceiling. Notice how that feels through not only your side body, but perhaps through the shoulder and the arm as well. Inhale through the nose, exhale, rotate forward. Once again, reaching that hand in front of us. Maybe walking our fingertips forward. The sits bones remain connected with the mat. And we'll just flow into a nice stretch for the back and the shoulder here. In our own time, we can slowly begin to stack the spine back up, floating that elbow towards the ceiling, once again resuming that side body stretch. Inhale through the nose, exhale, lift up nice and tall. As those hands come up, float the fingertips back, finding a nice chest expansion. Exhale, round the spine, reach the shoulder blades away from one another. And switch back into expansion. The eye gaze looks towards the ceiling. And release, rounding the spine, press the palms forward. And from here, we stack the spine up. Hands come by our sides, and we'll find a nice seated position here. Knees can be bent. We'll work on a little bit of spinal mobility. Inhale, open the chest up, reach the sits bones into the mat. Exhale, scoop through the pelvis and round the spine. Big inhale, open up. Exhaling, we round. Good. So just continuing to flow here. Again, let that spinal articulation mobilize with your breath. Good. From here, in this round back position, we'll slowly connect the spine with the floor below. As we do so, those hands come right over the chest, and then we'll reach them all the way overhead. Inhale again, arms reach overhead. Exhale, bring them back down by your sides. Inhale for that expansion. Exhale, release. Good. So now moving into that rib cage or the rib cage arms. Breathing still intact. When we're ready, take those hands all the way overhead. As we bring them back down, keep them down on the mat, almost like we're making snow angels. So we'll inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms back down. I'm going to move this ever so slightly. I think if you've been with me before, you know I'm in a tight space right now. So I'm going to maneuver the room to make my class work. One more time, big inhale, reach those arms overhead. And exhale, bringing them back down by our sides. Knees are still bent, and we're going to take those knees from side to side. Now just starting to think about mobility through our hips, perhaps through our low back. Good. Settle into that breath. We're starting slow today. And that's on purpose. Wednesdays sometimes call for a little break. Time for ourselves. Time to reorient our bodies. Be intentional with our minds and our breath. And this is a great opportunity to think about that. One more time, reach those knees over to the right. Breathing gently as you relax into that stretch. Another inhale. Exhale, reach the knees over to the left, finding that same stretch on the other side. Can we acknowledge any differences from one side to the other? Perhaps we notice them, perhaps we do not. And that's okay. Either one. Good. All right, as the knees stack back up towards the ceiling, we'll reach the arms over the chest. Take a big inhale, exhale, float the head and shoulder blades above the mat and take it back down. Moving into preparation for hundreds. The work is about to begin. Hopefully you enjoyed your mobility. Starting to wake the body up now. One more time, inhale, release. Exhale, lifting up, feel the core working. Pump those arms. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Quick, vigorous arm pumps. Breathing in through the nose for a count of 5 and out through the mouth for a count of 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keeping it going right here. Options to stack the knees right over the hips, or perhaps take those toes out to 45 degrees. I'll let you guys choose the option that's best suited for you today. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Final round. And release. As the arms reach over the head, the legs extend across the mat, preparing ourselves to move into roll-ups. We'll peel the spine off of the mat, rolling up and over the thighs. Bring it back down with that spinal articulation in mind. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, roll up, bone by bone by bone. Fold over the thighs. Enjoy that stretch through the back of the legs. Keeping it going, rolling up. Remember, you've got some options here. We can always use those hands or elbows to lift or lower ourselves down and up, or maybe even bring one of those knees into the chest. Use it as leverage to lift up or lower down. What's going to work for you today? Final time. Inhale, exhale, rolling up. Reach over those thighs. Let's stay here for a brief moment. Notice how the hamstrings feel or the backs of the legs. We could alternate flexing the feet or the ankles and roll it up. Let's take it down. As we connect with the mat, bone by bone by bone, we'll slide that right leg up to 45 degrees, starting with our leg circles here. Tracing around an imaginary small dinner plate. Take that big toe around, let your spine reach long. One more in this direction and reverse it. As we take that leg in the opposite direction, find precision with your movement. Perhaps even think about keeping that left heel pressed into the mat for 2 and 1. Right knee floats into the chest, roll out through that ankle. When you're ready, the right foot extends all the way up to the ceiling, moving to a large beach ball size circle. We'll take our heel around and up 2 more times. Oh yes, it goes quick. At the top, reverse the direction. The leg comes out, around, and up. Out, around, and lift. 2 and 1 more time. As the knee flows into the chest, slide that knee outside of the body, noticing a nice inner thigh stretch here. Good. As we release, the knee comes across the body. It will rotate through the spine into our figure T stretch. Nice rotational movement here. Noticing it through the low back, through the hips, with a goal of keeping both shoulder blades down and connected with the mat below. Beautiful. All right, as we slide up, another stretch before we go to the other side. We'll take our right ankle on top of the left knee. We call this a figure 4 stretch. We can stay right here, actively pressing that knee away from our chest, or if we're wanting a bit more, draw both knees in towards the belly. You can grab behind that bent knee here and just find a gentle stretch. Good. This is a great way to open up through the hips. We could do this from seated in a chair. We can do it laying. We can use our body weight to help us sink further into the stretch if we were in a pigeon pose. We've got lots of options with this piriformis and outer thigh stretch. As we drop the left foot back towards the mat, we'll keep our right ankle crossed over, arms come to a figure T, and we're going to slowly lower that right foot down towards the ground. Notice the rotational stretch that we get through the hip and the low back. Use your obliques to actively peel the foot off of the floor. Lift it up and over. This time, drop your knee towards the opposite end of the room. Same figure 4 position, stretching on the opposite side of the body now. Fantastic. One more in each direction. Take the foot, drop it down towards the floor. Sinking into that stretch once again. We'll take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale, pull the knee up and over. Use your core strength to guide you as the knee gently drops towards the floor. Good. We can even let our eye gaze look in the opposite direction if that feels right for us. As we lift back up, that leg extends all the way out. Hands come back down by our sides. As the left leg extends to 45 degrees, we kick back off with those small dinner plate sized circles here. Tracing that leg around, can we initiate the movement from the hip? 3, 2, and 1. Let's reverse it. Take that toe around that imaginary dinner plate. 3, 2, and 1. Bend that knee into the chest. Take a moment to roll out through the ankle in preparation for our large beach ball sized circles. Extend the right foot towards the ceiling. Bring the leg across the body and around. You've got 4 total in each direction. So last 2 and 1 at the top. Reverse the direction of those leg circles. Around and up. 2, 3, and 4. Leg comes to the top, knee pulls into the chest, and we'll gently slide that leg outside of the body. Good. Once again, finding that same inner thigh stretch that we felt on the other side. From here, the knee comes up and over the body into that rotational stretch. Let your eye gaze look in that opposite direction. Both shoulders are down and connected with the floor below. And just take a few breaths. Remembering, just as we did on the other side, as our hips come back down and connect with the mat, we'll slide that left ankle over our right knee, finding our figure 4 stretch on the opposite side. Starting here, we're just gently pressing that knee away from our body. Remembering, if we want a little bit more, we can always fold the knees towards the belly, holding it here to open up through that hip. Take another big inhale. As you exhale, drop that foot down towards the floor. Hands come wide. Left foot drops towards the mat into our rotational stretch. Good. Remember, we're going to do 2 of these on each side. You can gently press that knee away if you need to open up through the side body a little bit more. In your own time, use those obliques to lift up and rotate, dropping the knee down towards the mat. We'll let the eye gaze look in the opposite direction this time. Hold it here for a breath or 2. When you're ready, the core activates. We draw that foot up and over, opposite direction. Great job. From there, the knee lifts, the thigh folds over to the opposite side of the room. Those shoulder blades reaching down towards the mat. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, lift the hips back up and float the left knee to the chest. All right, we're moving into our Pilates 5 ab series. Head and shoulder blades hover above the mat. Lift or extend that right leg out and switch. Good, extend and switch. Elbows are wide, chest is lifted. Reach those toes out in opposition and sync the movement with your breath. That's our favorite thing today, right? Movement and breath as one. Final time on each leg. Both knees fall into the chest for double leg stretch. Reach both hands and feet out in opposition. Hug the knees in tight. Reach out. Pull it in. We'll do 3, 2, and final time, out and away. Bring it in, toes to the ceiling, hands at the calf muscle, one leg lowers for scissors, and switch. Good, keep alternating. Enjoy that stretch through the back of the leg, but continue the work through the core. Last one on either side. As our feet come together, hands at the base of the skull or perhaps by our sides for leg lower and leg lift. Lower, lower. Hinging at the hips, we take the feet down and up. 3. Good. 2. And one more time. Fantastic. Knees to chest. Drop the feet towards the floor. Hands come back behind the base of our skull here. We'll lift head and shoulder blades off of the mat, moving into our final Pilates 5 ab exercise. Opposite shoulder to opposite knee, twist and switch. Good. Can you take these slow and controlled? Head and shoulder blades stay lifted the entire exercise. Rotate back to center. Switch. Option, keep those knees stacked in a tabletop position and do the same work. Yes. Last one on each side. And release. Let those knees fall into the belly. Gently rock the body from side to side. When you're ready, the feet connect with the mat, hands come down by our sides, and we press into our first bridge of the day. Lower and lift. Get all 10 of those toes connected with the mat below. As you guys move through that, I'm just going to make sure I got everyone checked in to our class today. Good. Lifting and lowering the hips. Keep the spine long. Get this counted. Fantastic. All right. Got you added to today's live in-person class. All right. Let's all hold our hips lifted. Hips are lifted, spine is long. Embrace the shake if you're feeling it. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower those hips all the way back down towards the mat. Extend. Actually, we'll bring one knee into the belly and use it as leverage to lift ourselves up into a seated position. From our seated position, legs are out long in our L-sit. Shoulders are back and down the spine. Arms float forward for spine stretch forward. We roll down one bone at a time and lift back up one bone at a time. Reach that forehead over the thighs for the knees and come back up tall. Lift feet up tall, tall, tall. Sits bones reaching for the floor. Thinking about that spinal articulation and being really intentional with it. Last time, roll down. And lift up, release. All right, shake out the legs. Arms come out long. Feet come out about hip distance apart for saw. Rotate through the torso. Roll down. Reach for that pinky toe. Come back up. Rotate. Roll down and reach. Good. Keep the mobility going. As long as those sits bones remain glued to the floor and you're thinking about your spinal articulation, we should be in good shape here. Inhaling up, exhale, roll down, lifting up for the final time. Hands come back behind our bottoms, elbows release to the mat, and we'll find a nice, gentle chest opener here. Beautiful. All right. Just a little relaxing way to open up through the chest. From here, we lift up and come over to our side for our side lying work. So as you lift up and over, allow your spine to align with the back edge of your mat. Our feet are going to come forward just slightly, so they're in front of our body. Top leg begins to lift and lower. Working through those abductors here. Shoulders and hips are stacked one on top of the other. Can we let our eye gaze look towards this wall or screen in front of us, whatever's easiest. All right, hold the top leg lifted, pulse it towards the ceiling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With the top leg lifted, move into external rotation and back down. So again, we take the toes to the ceiling, heels down. Bring it to center, rotate, and center. One more time, toes to the ceiling, heel to the floor. Connect your heels, lift up. Good, we're staying in that external rotation here. Hips are still stacked for 2 and 1. This time, internal rotation. Toes go down towards the floor, heels to the ceiling, back to center. Rotate inward at the hip. Good, rotate toes towards the floor, heel towards the ceiling. One more time. Hold it there. Tap the toes down, lift up, tap and lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, bring that top leg forward, shake it out, release some of that tension through the outer thigh, and we'll move to the bottom leg. Bottom leg starts to lift and lower. Good, lifting it up off the mat, belly is strong. We feel that embraced sensation there through the core. Holding the bottom leg lifted, pulse it towards the ceiling. Quick, brisk pulses with that bottom leg. 3, 2, and 1. Point the toe and circle the bottom leg forward. 3, 2, 1, and reverse it. Opposite direction. 3, 2, 1, and release. As our legs come one on top of the other, bend the knees in. we can lift up into our elbow and move into our clamshells. Good, back into more internal and external pelvic mobility. One of my favorite things to incorporate in classes because it helps with strengthening our pelvic floor, strengthening our smaller muscles through the pelvis, which as we age is incredibly helpful. One more time, hold that diamond shape here, lift the feet off of the ground, bring the knees together, lift back up. Fantastic. Good. So we're just up on that elbow. That means our side body core is, really having to work here to stabilize. 2 and 1. Now bottom leg, tap the toe down, lift up, tap and lift. Good. Working on that internal rotation of the bottom leg. 2 and 1. Good. Feet together, knees down and release. Come up and over into your side body stretch. Big inhale, exhale, release. Let's take it around to the other side. So as we do that little break dance, we will now align our spine with the back edge of our mat. Once again, our feet come forward at that slight angle. We can start to lift and lower that top leg. Good. Once again, resuming the work for those outer thighs. 3, 2, and 1. Hold that leg lifted, pulse it towards the ceiling. Quick, brisk pulses. 3, 2, and 1. With the top leg lifted, externally rotate. Take your toes to the ceiling and your heels down. Reach it up and back to center. Externally rotate, back to center. Hips are still stacked. So are those shoulders. One more time. Hold that external position. Lift and lower the leg. Fantastic. Is the belly engaged? Rib cage is lifted. 3, 2, and 1. Leg lifts back up, moving to our internal rotation. Toes down, heel to the ceiling, down and up. Breathe. Good. 2 and 1. Keep the toes down towards the floor. Tap the toe, lift it up. Good. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slide the top leg forward. Give yourself that myofascial release. With that top knee lifted off of the mat, move right into that bottom leg, lifting and lowering, up and down. Good. Rib cage is still lifted. Core is still strong. 3, 2, and 1. Bottom leg stays lifted. Pulse it towards the ceiling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the toe pointed and circle through that bottom foot. We circle forward and then reverse it. Good. Take it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As the leg releases, legs come one on top of the other. We'll slide to that elbow being right under our shoulders. Knees bend, and we find our clamshells. Good. Rib cage is lifted, side body is in control. External rotation through that hip. Take the knee back, pull it back down. Great work, you guys. I know lots of internal and external rotation today, but we're taking it on, and it is so, so helpful for the longevity and health of our pelvis. 2, and 1. Hold your diamond shape. Lift the legs. Good. Heels rather. Knees together and open. Good. 5, 4. Tap the knees together. Lift up. 2, and 1. Hold your diamond shape. Bottom leg taps down and lifts. Toes to floor. Lift. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees together, feet down, lift yourselves up and fold into your side body stretch. Good. All right, from here we cartwheel those arms over, finding quadrupeds. That means our hands are right under our shoulders, knees are under our hips, toes can be tucked under. We'll start to shift our hips back. Notice the stretch through the bottom of your foot. And then gently come back to quadruped. We'll do that 2 more times. Send your hips back, stretch through the bottom of the foot with those toes tucked under. Lifting back up, final time. And from this quadruped position, we'll move into cat and cow, rounding the spine towards the ceiling. When we're ready, we drop the belly through and arch through the low back. Got it. 2 more times, round that spine up. Drop the belly through. Last one, up we go, press the floor away. As the belly drops through, lengthen. Excuse me. And we'll find a neutral spine here. From that neutral spine, the right arm reaches forward while the left leg reaches back. We call this spinal balance. It's a nice little stability challenge for our core. And we'll alternate from one side to the other. So then taking it left arm and right leg extended. From there over to the other side. Fantastic. Continue alternating. Reach and switch. One more on either side. Right arm, left leg. Hold this side a little bit longer. Stabilize. Keep the control. And release. Left arm, right leg. Hold. Eye gaze is looking down. And release. Good. Once those hands are back under the shoulders, toes are tucked under, press the floor away and hover your knees above the mat. A little core challenge there for us. And lower. We're going to go a little bit longer. Lifting up now. Hold it. Lift, lift, lift. Breathe. You got it. Fantastic. Drop it back down. Good. We'll do one more of those. Hover those knees. Right now we lift. Good. You're almost there. 3, 2, 1. As those knees come down, walk your hands forward into your favorite push-up position. We have 6 tricep push-ups. We'll come down and up. Take these at your own pace. They don't have to be fast. They don't even have to be slow. I want you to find what works for you. But as soon as you're done with your 6 tricep push-ups, find yourselves back in a rest pose. Knees apart, toes together, shifting the hips back. And release. Allow yourselves to roll out through your wrists. From here, we'll take that right arm and thread it through the window that our left arm has created. Getting a nice shoulder and back stretch here. And switch sides. Left hand threads through the window that our right arm has created. As both hands find themselves back in that rest pose, gently roll your spine up one vertebra at a time. As you lift into a kneeling position, we'll take, as I lose my balance, we'll take the right leg forward, curl the pelvis under, and feel a nice stretch through that hip flexor complex. Good, we'll activate through this glute. Feel the pelvis curl under. You could even reach your arms overhead if that feels right for you today. From there, the hands come down and frame the front foot. We'll drop into a little anterior stretch for that pelvis or hip flexor complex. Fantastic. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, lifting back up into our kneeling position. We'll switch sides. Right knee comes down, left leg comes forward. We activate through that side or opposite leg's glute. Curl the pelvis under. Let the spine get tall, perhaps even reaching the arms overhead if that feels right for us. Holding it for a brief moment, but when we're ready, hands come down, sinking into our anterior stretch. Beautiful, big inhale. Exhale, shift back. Both knees can come back towards the floor. Bottoms come back and around, and we'll start, or we will end where we started in a nice seated position. Rolling those shoulders back, we'll move through our neck stretches once again, a little bit faster. Dropping one ear over towards one shoulder. As we come back up, roll the shoulders out again. And then release the ear, opposite ear, towards the opposite shoulder. And lift up, settling into your breath. Feel free to let your eyes close. Noticing the belly pressing out with every inhale. And with every exhale, it pulls back in towards the spine. One more time, breathe in slow and controlled. And release. Great job today, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Again, my name is Kourtney. I oversee the Living Well program here at A&M, and these videos are being recorded so that they can go up on our YouTube channel. If you have any questions about that, let us know. And I hope to see you guys next week. Tell your friends. Take care.